Hello, welcome to Dungeon Heroes Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So, the last movie I watched this weekend was Session 9. It was a 2001 horror mystery movie. It's an hour and 42 minutes. Directed by Brad Anderson, who did films such as, let me just click the link, The Machinist, 2004. It's the movie with, what's his name? Oh, shit. Brains fart. Christian Bale plays this like anorexic insomniac guy who's banging like Jennifer Jason Leigh hooker. Who I tried to watch that movie. I thought it was too boring. He also directed movies like The Call 2013 and Vanishing on 7th Street with Hayden Christensen and 2008's Trans-Siberian. So the movie stars David Caruso as Phil. You know him from CSI Miami and NYPD Blue. He plays Phil. Peter Mullen as Gordon Fleming, who's a Scottish actor. Stephen Gevedon as Mike, who co-wrote. This guy I read co-wrote the film. And he was in Oz. If you ever watched the show, I think he was part of the biker gang. I can't remember. Like, he was like somebody in Oz. He was somebody in Oz. Josh Lucas as Hank. You know him from Hulk. Which did I ever upload that fucking review? I need to check my. I did a review for the 2003 Hulk movie, but I think I forgot to upload it. And I can't find the fucking audio recording. And you got Brandon Saxton the third as Jeff, who was in that TV show The Killing. Which never finished it. Only watched like the first season, and the second season was too boring. And Paul Guilfoyle as Bill Briggs. You'll know him from the original CSI, and he was in that movie I did commentary for, Howard the Duck. He had like weird dyed blonde hair in that movie. Weird. So the movie is basically it's a psychological horror film about these group of guys who, as they say in the film, chuck fiber. They're basically guys who clean up old places that are filled with like dangerous, like pollutants, not pollutants, like basically like asbestos and shit. So like old abandoned places that are like has like filled with dust and shit that's harmful to breathe. They go in the place and clean it out. They take the job to like clean up this old abandoned insane asylum, right? Which the insane asylum looks really cool actually in the film. They name it the Bat because you have like the main building and then like there's like three buildings combined together where like you have the main building and these two wings that are basically like houses, like rows of houses that are like diagonal. So it looks like a V. You got like a V shape going on. So they call it the Bat. Well, it's like whatever. You check out the film. So yeah, they take out a contract to clean up the place, and they have to clean out the place in a week if they want that 10 grand bonus, for which that's 10 grand for each member of the team that's cleaning up the place, right? Well, the problem with the movie, with the characters are, you have Gordon Freeman, the Scottish guy who's the boss, who's going through marital problems. Like he's Scottish, by the way, and him and his middle-aged wife just had a baby for the first time, and like she spilled like boiling water on him, and he accidentally slaps her, and like his wife is not talking with him anymore. You have David Caruso, who's Phil, whose problem with the movie, his problem is like he lost his like his wife to like his girlfriend character, his girlfriend to like Hank, which is played by Josh Lucas. You got Mike, who was the son of a rich kid. He is a rich kid who's son of like a DA, was supposed to be a lawyer, but like flunked out. And you have Jeff, who's like the mullet, the mullet wielding nephew of Gordon Fleming, which is weird. Like somebody is still having like a mullet hairstyle in like 2001. That's like in like the early 90s, people were still like, still have the mullet kind of, but it kind of like, after like after 1995, it kind of just disappeared. So like I think the last film you saw someone like having a mullet is like 1994 Clerks or something. So it's like, yeah, him having a mullet in the film is like, whoa, it's fucking weird and distracting. Yeah, so like there's talks about like how Reagan like shut down like the insane asylums. You got to talk about the satanic panic in the 80s. There's the Mike character finds old like audio recordings of like a doctor who sounds a lot like David Caruso interviewing a woman with multiple personality disorder. And that was actually, those scenes were actually pretty cool. Like David Caruso has an awesome fucking voice for horror. I wish he did like more horror films. But the main problem with the film though is like the film, like most of the like horror comes from its audio, like the sounds and shit. So like there's no really cool horror visuals except for when somebody kills another dude, but with the little lobotomy tool, which is this ice pick looking thing that they punch through, like they make like a hole like in the corner of your eye or some shit, where there's like a dude like walking. One of the guys gets attacked with like a lobotomy ice pick looking thing, and is walking around the film with sunglasses, acting weird, and then like they take the sunglasses off, and you see like the dude has like the vein in his eye. So if you're somebody who's like gets that freaks out because of eye gore and shit, you're probably not gonna like this film. Which there's not a lot of gore in the movie. Like a lot of the kills in the film pretty much happen in the montage near the end of the film, right? Which I wasn't a huge fan of that. Like most of the film is like just tension, like the guys hanging out, and then the tension of them trying to finish up cleaning up the place in time so they can get the bonus, and then you have the fucking drama going on with like each of their characters, like bullshit. Yeah, which like, and the movie near the end hints at like a possible supernatural element in the film, where you have one of the characters who hears this voice talking to them, which sounded a lot like Brandon Sexton, the Ferg's character Jeff. That's the thing, like they don't really. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it's like it sounds to me like some of the voices in the audio recordings were like the other, like they got the actors from the film to do those voices. I could be wrong, but the doctor in the audio recordings, audio interviews of the doctor-patient stuff, was obviously David Caruso, which his fucking acting was great. So was Yeah, his voice acting was great. His acting in the film was like it was okay. There's a great scene. There's a great scene where there's him and like the Scottish boss character was just saying fuck you back and forth together. And he's like there's a cool like intense close up of his face, and he's like that's it like that's like that the camera's like shot almost like sideways, and it's like he's like, "Hey, fuck you," which like somebody made a clip of that. It was like fucking awesome, man. That was a great scene. Yeah, I don't know, like what kind of accent does David Caruso have? That's a fucking awesome accent, right? Yeah, I wish the guy did more horror movies. Like the only other horror movie I know this guy was in was some shitty like 80s like 80s horror film that was like, I couldn't even watch the whole thing, man. It was like terrible. I think it was called Without Warning. I could be wrong though. It had like the guy. Let me double check. Yeah, Without Warning, 1980. It had like Jack Palance and Martin Landau in like a scene each, man. And Cameron Mitchell's also in the film for one scene. Yeah, that movie was so boring. I couldn't even get halfway, man. Yeah, so like honestly, this film, in my opinion, I almost wish like the movie almost would have been better if it was just the guys hanging out, trying to like, trying to just like finish clean the place in time, because I was really having a lot of fun hanging out with these guys characters. Maybe that's because in my real life experiences, I worked with contractors and done jobs like this, so it's like it just made me feel like nostalgia for working in a crew, right? But yeah, like the horror aspects of the show of the movie was good. I just didn't like the fact that like the one dude like becomes goes crazy and kills everybody, which I'm not gonna spoil who. It's implied that he gets possessed by like this like spirit or something that was possessing the multiple personality disorder girl, which that was cool. Yeah, I don't know. If I were to give this rank, it's a thing where like I had heard this was such a great movie, and the movie, though it's cool, it's not as great as people said it was. So I'm only giving this film like a 6.5. But I think it's worth watching. It's on BitChute, by the way. All right, guys.